Hello, my handful of viewers. I'm back. I've been pretty busy lately, so I had to take some time to muddle over what's going on and kind of analyze the situation. One thing I wanted to say is I go through about 100 YouTube videos every evening. And I go through so many of them because I look for the bottom line. And the bottom line is the most important aspect of the video. And once you've found the bottom line, I mean, you can just, spend about 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute or so, and you know what they're talking about. So right now, everybody is getting the wool pulled over their eyes. And it's happening again and again. The convoy is becoming a political issue. As I mentioned in my earlier videos, you're leftist, you're right, you're rightist. There's no difference between them. And if you look for the bottom line in everything that you listen to or you watch, you'll find that out right away. Now, what struck me right now, you know that new conservative leader, Candice Bergen, the actress? Yeah, you can call her an actress. As I mentioned before, these people were in Parliament. They never stood up for our rights. And now everybody's heckling and calling out Trudeau. And they want answers and this and that. It's just wind, and wind, like I mentioned before. So what did she do just lately, just a couple of hours ago? Boy, that's like shooting yourself in the head politically. She came out and said, basically, my pizzas are cold when they get to me, so you're breaking the law by being parked out in front of Parliament, and the Conservative Party is a law and order party, and you truckers should go home. So she's just taking the reins from Trudeau, isn't she? Well, let me hear what you think about that. That's only my opinion. Doug Ford, guy was so head set, like he sent the cops after the people on the Ambassador Bridge and everything. A day afterwards, he's all cool and nice and teddy bearish, and say, "Yeah, well, we're going to drop this." Why? Why do you think he's doing this? Because they're all intermeshed. They're trying to ease the pressure on one side to concentrate it on the other side. And that's what they're doing. Trudeau's holding fast like I predicted he would. And just imagine this. Just imagine how this all started. This all started with the G20 and the economic forums, which is the Justice League of how to control our lives. And every year they go there and they say, well, we're going to talk about the economy and this and that. No, they're just figuring out plans of how they can control humanity. So they're there. And now, it's like the Yakuza now. They're all in a group, these 20 leaders or so, socialists and rightists combined. They're all in it together. Don't just say it's a leftist movement, because there are right-wing governments doing the same thing, oppressing their people. Look at Austria. Look at France. They're not left-wing. Let's go back to it. So these guys, it's like the Yakuza. If one guy falls, they all fall. And that's why it's so important for them not to fall. And the guy that does fall, well, he's going to be skinned alive. And that's just it. That's their little group. That's their little plan. And they're going to hang on to it until death, I guess, So, what can you do about all of this? I look at the images and I think about the people, and the Canadian people have demonstrated who they really are. And Canadian government, politicians, and regulatory officials, they've demonstrated who they really are. And I just can't understand. Yes, I can understand, because we're a peaceful, loving nation. But just look at the image and you say, we want to protest in peace, and in the end, you're always staring down the barrel of a gun. You know, this is a nation that professes itself to be leaders amongst, organizing peace rallies and stuff like that. And well, this is what our Canadians are facing right now. Every time somebody protests, they're looking down the barrel of a gun. The Ambassador Bridge, it's a mockery to me. I respect and I really feel sympathy for all the officers that have came out, spoken out, even risked their jobs, to say something in favor of this movement. But then the other ones, they're the same old guys. You can tell me as much as you want. Well, they're there, but they don't want to be there. But they were there. That's the bottom line. They were there. And it kind of appalled me that they're the protesters. They're going over to hug like the police, and about 5 minutes afterwards, they put handcuffs on them. Right? That's one thing. So you'll always have like this following. And if the police were really enforcing the law, the highest law of the land is the Charter, the Canadian Charter. That is the highest. That is what we breathe. That is the blood running through our veins. So to come along with any other Mickey Mouse charges and mischief and stuff like that, you're just being petty. And do the police really, do they understand? Do they realize, even if the government comes out of this scot-free, their image afterwards? You think people still like to hug them all the time? No. It would have been so easy for them to lay down their arms and say, this, enough is enough. And the government as well. They're just playing around. Look at in Parliament. They're just playing around. They're playing with us. Making up a big show. But they're stalling. They're gaining time. They're stalling, and that's all they're doing. I looked up a law, and you say, anyway, these guys make up laws as they go along, but look at the laws that we are defending in Canada. Now, I'm not going to bring out the details, but there is still a law that is applied from time to time, and that's called the Canada Master and Servant Act of 1847. Master and servant. They didn't even have the delicacy to change the name. And lawyers and judges, they still apply to that law. So that's some of the stuff you don't know about, but you should. That's the stuff we're defending. Then you have other people getting to bottom lines. You have other people crawling out of the woodwork as well. It made me laugh. Elon Musk, 100% behind the truckers. Yeah, the truckers, I'm for them. How much did he donate? The guy's one of the richest men in the world. The truckers got betrayed by their fundraisers. I would say the both of them. Out of almost about $20 million. Well, what is $10 million to Elon Musk? Put your money where your mouth is. But they're all coming out. And some people that are so respected, that I respected so much, like Jordan Peterson, just lately, a couple of hours ago, he just came out and said, well, it's good, And just the day beforehand, he said, yeah, truckers, hold the line. And now he comes out and says, well, you've done a good job, and it's maybe about time you should go home. That's about what he said. So they're all turning on you, all of us. You can't even trust your grandmother right now. But I have hope, and I've already seen this hope, that the average Canadian, he's better than all this. He's better than all this. And you just have to get rid of these guys in one way or another. And then again, I'm not going to be saying violently or whatever, but just keep them in mind for the next elections. And then again, that's one thing that makes me afraid. I'm afraid of this, is that what options do we have? They're all rotten. They're all turncoats. They're all backstabbers. So we have to select our politicians, grassroots people, people who are not in it for the money. And that's where we have to start. And I don't know how this is all going to end. I know I haven't been able to come back to my country in the last 2 years. And I hope that someday I will, because this is just incredible. Pretty soon we're going to be asking the Russians to give us back our democracy. Can you imagine that? No, this has gone too far. Anyway,